The most likely scenario is we're in a country that is almost hegemonically controlled by the Democrats due to the last 50 years of immigration. California, the state that gave us Reagan and Nixon, cannot elect any Republicans statewide anymore. Not a chance. They're all dropping out. There are barely any Republicans in the congressional delegation. That's one state. We found out with...
you got to move to the center. You got to move to the center.
No, you have to move to America, and that apparently is no longer California. It's not. With Ed Gillespie, we found out the same has happened in Virginia. We've known it's happened, state after state keeps falling because of demographics, because of a specific design by the Democrats. They couldn't get Americans to vote for them, so they brought in ringers. It's called Teddy Kennedy's Revenge, the 1965 Immigration Act. I think,
yes, and what you're saying is correct. And in certain parts of the country, it's overwhelming, like California, like New York, like these liberal states. But when you're talking about 2020, the president,
point I'm getting to.
He's still quite popular in places that he won last time, like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan.
What did they love about him? Do you remember if there was any one thing that came up at every single rally, every single day?
Building something. I forget what it was. Build that. Yeah.
He totally betrayed them, and yes, there is a segment of Cro-Magnon and right-wingers. He's playing 3D chess, Tom. Yep, he gives away the store. He's not ever going to build a wall. He's going to amnesty illegals, but don't you worry, Tom, it's 3D chess. Okay, those people should be drowned, except you couldn't even lead them to a bath because they don't know what water is.
Wait a minute, Ann.
They are so stupid, there is no hope. He will still have those voters.
You have a strong military, and I'm thinking this is aimed at North Korea. You get the crazy Bolton, you get this omnibus is a nightmare, but taxes are down and deregulation is down, and so their economy hopefully will be stimulated. I'm telling you, they're cracks in their base. I see a lot of Latinos and black communities moving towards Trump purely for his economics. So
that totally carried the day in the Pennsylvania 18th district.
Bruce, thank you for the call, Bruce. Look, Ann.
Those tax cuts have been fantastic. Did the Republican mention immigration? No, he did not. I'm glad you asked me that. No, Paul Ryan Republicanism, big loser. And that's what Trump's doing. And you can be a little cheerleader for Paul Ryan. Yeah, maybe Romney will win, too. You can comfort yourself with these little fairy tales, but the facts are Conor Lamb did not run as a Trump Republican. He ran against Trump's tax cuts, and he won in a district Trump carried by 20 points. Nobody whom Trump brought out to vote for him who haven't voted in 30 years, they don't care about tax cuts because they're not paying taxes. They wanted jobs. They wanted no more heroin in their communities. They don't want their schools being overwhelmed with unaccompanied minors and Somali refugees. That's what they voted for, and they have been betrayed over and over and over again. And when the Republicans get wiped in the House, I'm going to laugh and laugh and laugh. But I'm glad I don't have children. I'm sorry for you, Tom, because this is it. This is it. In one generation, this country is going to be South Africa. We had this one chance to save it, and we were betrayed.
Ann Coulter today sent chills through me. I'll tell you that straight up. She was on a show, and she was saying that she's so glad that she doesn't have children, because America, within a generation, will be South Africa. Well, I am a parent. I have no choice.
The real solution here is respect the Constitution, respect free speech for everyone, but if they decide to become a terrorist organization and assault people,
the Constitution is not going to save us.
Great idea doesn't work. Great idea never works. And you think of it, you think of what happens every time we open up the free market, the free speech, the free society, and every time we lose and they win. And that's because they don't play by the rules, they don't care. And we sit on the sidelines, they win regardless of the rules, and we say, hey, that's not fair, look at our little book. And if they don't stop, if we don't outnumber them very soon in terms of demographics, they will kill us for losing. It doesn't matter for playing by the rules.
By the way, you guys are based in Texas, right?
Yeah, we're based in Austin.
You know the demographics of Texas? And after 8 more years, Texas will never go red again because of Hispanic migration, okay? Hispanic immigrants vote 70 to 30 for the left. Okay, and so we can pretend like, oh, they're all just natural-based brown conservatives. It's factually untrue. Okay, Texas will flip, and we will never have another Republican president again unless we stop immigration, legal and illegal. It's not just illegal immigrants. They vote 80-20 for the Democrats, but legal migrants and their children vote 70-30. This is Pew Research. You can look this up. They vote 70-30 for the left. Okay, so if we want to stop the left, if we want to stop these crazy lefties, that I respect Enforce. I love Alex Jones, but here's the thing. Jones is missing the point. He's missing the bigger picture. Jones doesn't understand that all of this is water under the goddamn bridge. Unless we stop migration, unless we stop legal and illegal migration, we will not have a country. Texas goes blue, and it's done. Texas goes blue, and our country's gone. We need to stop migration now.
One generation's country is going to be South Africa because of demographics. Because of demographics. Because of demographics.
One generation. That's what it is. We're the majority now, not the minority. Y'all are the minorities now. Take it over.
Out here in a second.
Taking over what?
Taking over what?
America.
Taking over what?
Taking over America, right?
Living on the run, driving in the sun, looking out for number one. California, here we come, right back where we started from. The horses grabbing guns, they shout and waste the time, driving down the 101. California, here we come, right back where we started from. California. Here we come. Oh, Syria, listen as we go. Nobody's gonna stop me now. California, here we come, right back where we started from. A pedal to the floor, thinking of you more. Gotta get us to the show. California, here we come, right back where we started from. California. Here we come. Yeah. California, California, here we come. Oh, California, California, here we come. California.
There's so much interesting stuff from the 2010 census, and the government keeps releasing more and more figures. I want you to take a look at this here. We told you about how Latinos will soon be the majority in the Golden State. Now take a look at these percentage population figures. Now you see there in that red line, make up about 75% of Californians. That's back in the 60s, but that number keeps on dropping here. This pink line, that's Latinos. That keeps, and they cross. You see that there? Almost tied at Latinos with 40%.
Yeah, and Stephanie, that trend has definitely intensified over the past 10 years. Think of it this way. California's total population increased by nearly 5 million people during that time. But when you look at whites only, that population has fallen by about 700,000.
In 2024, Texas will turn blue. Not because Texas will change, but because its people will change. And it will never turn back.
People of European stock, their nations, their countries, and their cultures, their civilizations are essentially on the chopping block.
an unrelenting stream of immigration. Non-stop. Non-stop. Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America, from then and on, will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
A new survey indicates that white Christians are, for the first time, a minority in the United States. Well, first time since whites came and basically did their colonial thing.
And wiped out everyone else.
And wiped out everyone else, exactly.
And that is, by the way, exactly why we're seeing the overreaction from the right wing that we are today. They're in a panic. Oh my God, our time is almost up.
Longer term, though, White Shift really is going to be about a large-scale racial mixing, which is going to result in this mixed race majority.
Say that again. Mixed race majority.
Exactly.
For what has been going on over, in some cases, for decades, in other cases, more particularly over the last few years. And it is true, unfortunately, and I think this needs to be frankly admitted by Jews all over the world, that there are, without doubt, Jews involved in those movements and those organizations, very often NGOs, etc., who promote this phenomenon of third world immigration into the Western countries.
Jews are going to be at the center of that. It's a huge transformation for Europe to make. They are now going into a multicultural mode, and Jews will be resented because of our leading role. But without that leading role and without that transformation, Europe will not survive. Europe will not survive.
Die hatten nicht vor, in die Hosentaschen zu gehen. Nein.
The German state of Bavaria has seen a nearly 50% rise in rape cases this year, while the number of rapes involving migrants has nearly doubled.
Das ist Deutschland. Hier werden Frauen geschlagen, hier werden Kinder geschändet und entführt.
Europe will not survive.
The biggest genocide in human history. The final solution of the Christian European problem. This crime demands a new set of Nuremberg trials, and you people will be in the dock.
The idea of having these refugees come into Europe, it's no longer a matter of whether it's right or wrong. It's just simply a fulfillment of what it was meant to be all along. This is the fulfillment of the Chazal and the prophecies. This has to happen, and this is just another sign that we are nearing, the completion of this tikkun of the entire world.
Le Mashiach viendra que quand Édom, l'Europe, la chrétienté sera totalement tombée. Donc je vous pose la question, c'est une bonne nouvelle que l'islam envahisse l'Europe? C'est une excellente nouvelle, ça annonce la venue de Mashiach. Excellente nouvelle.
Repeatedly demonstrated anti-Semitic sentiments, including blaming the Jewish community for bringing migrants across the border into the United States. He described them as invaders into their country, and he said that he didn't vote for President Trump because Trump had too many Jews surrounding him.
The Pittsburgh shooting. The synagogue there was deliberately promoting unlimited immigration to the United States and stated or went on record as saying they're willing to break the law to do that. Well, you're willing to break the law, okay, because you are a Jew, and every time you break the law, it's called tikkun olam, and there's some higher purpose involved here, and you're going to reform society. Well, the message got out, and this guy decided he's going to break the law too, except when he breaks it, he's going to bring a gun in and shoot people, and that's what happened at the synagogue. So, there's now, it's like, what are we going to do? Well, why don't you try changing your behavior? That's never an option with the Jews. It's never like, well, I guess we made a mistake. Have you ever heard a Jew said, I make a mistake? That we went too far? I've never heard that. Never. And I've done a lot of reading in this regard. It's always the other guy's fault.